2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Soldiers fighting insurgency in northeast Nigeria want a relief from duty posts in line with best practices. The soldiers from Konduga, Bama and Banki axis of Borno State have been on the front line, some for about 3 years. In the early days of insurgency, the practice was to rotate the soldiers every 6 months. The operational visit by the theatre commander of Operation Lafayadole brings a fresh hope.
Sir, please help us. We are with our tears. We are with our tears in this environment. We don't have that strength, more strength again to work in this place. Help us. Because I've been telling you they're going to make a change December last year. They said January. Now January have gone, so we don't even know. If they say we are going to stay here throughout this year, they should let us know so that we make up our mind. I know that we are going to stay throughout this year. You know the situation whereby maybe our CEO will give us tax. We started saying that maybe sir, we are going tomorrow, we are going next tomorrow. So we don't even know our fate.
But there's a new disturbing news. The Chibok community, where over 200 schoolgirls were abducted by Boko Haram, is hit again. 14 persons are killed in the suicide bomb attack at a market. About 60 persons, including 2 soldiers, are injured in the attack carried out by 2 female suicide bombers. Mr. Yomi Dare, a security expert and a retired colonel, wants citizens to do more in checking strange persons around their neighborhood as the military continues its offensive on insurgents.
The heat that the military has put on this monsters, this set of people, is so hot that, you know, they cannot really launch any serious offensive. What they want to do now is to look for soft targets. And how are they achieving this? They will go about looking for accommodation. So Nigerians should watch out. Landlords should ask questions. Where are you coming from? Who are you? Where do you work? And do a kind of background check. Don't just because somebody is ready to pay you some big sum of money and then you open your doors. So I think it's very, very important. And of course, we must not go to bed. Places of worship, recreation, hospitality places, all necessary security apparatuses must be put in place so that we don't have a repeat of, you know, what we experienced in the past. Don't forget, the aim of the terrorists is to instill fear. And how do they achieve that? They go to places where people are relaxing, you know, where, you know, they go to churches, and then they create panic amongst people.
Once you are able to reclaim, there should be a mechanism put in place to see how even the arms, the small arms, the light arms that we are using in these communities, how they are reclaimed, and then people that were recruited from these other communities, how you can rehabilitate them and also make use of the local vigilantes and local hunters. You know, those ones will be able to volunteer more information and keep peace in these areas. And the Nigerian military also need more hands to be able to man some of these communities. If you remember, in the height of militant activities in the Niger Delta, there were heavy presence of military personnel in most of the host communities in the Niger Delta at that time. And so So with that, with the presence of military personnel, that also would deter even people that were not already carrying arms but had the capacity and would want to do it. But when you just reclaim communities and chase away the insurgents, and then the moment you get back to your base, they are always going to come back. And so that's what reprisal attack, and that's why the villagers are basically scared of. And that's why even those ones that refuse to go to Bodan and all of those other communities, because nobody, as uncomfortable as the IDPs are, nobody wants to go back to die in communities that they are not too sure are safe.
While the military continues to prove its mettle in liberating cities and towns held hostage by Boko Haram insurgents in the face of pockets of attacks there, fleeing residents may find it difficult to come to terms with letting down their guards just yet.
I mean, there's nowhere you can have total peace. I mean, the human being has to create, make the condition for peace, you know, enduring peace for oneself, you know. So, talking about the IDPs, of course, a lot of them, they have been disorientated, you know, because of the trauma they went through. You know, some of them don't even know where they came from, you know. And I believe that part of what some of the Red Cross and some of the humanitarian organizations are doing in the IDP camps is to help some of these victims of this crisis to kind of rediscover themselves, you know, try to help them, you know, to gain back, you know, their well-being, their senses, and what have you, you know. Of course, I don't think it can be the same again for them. There's no way. Because those whose homes have been destroyed, the government is thinking about rebuilding homes for them, you know. So it's like they need like a mental reorientation, you know. And I think that is it. It's just unfortunate, but these are, you know, the consequences. What I call the consequences of a crisis situation. The present deployment and re-energized vigor of the Nigerian military, especially the collaboration between the Nigerian Air Force and the Nigerian Army, you know, pounding the insurgents, smoking them out of their holes. The heat is really on them, and the tide has turned against Boko Haram. So, and of course, the military is not only has not only taken over lost territories, they've also deployed life and flesh physically, you know. And of course, I don't know if you are aware that the Nigerian military, especially the Nigerian Army, has established 2 additional military divisions, divisions 7 and 8, on 7 and 8, yes, and with one base with headquarters in Mongonu. So all those axes, you know, not just taking over and then leaving, but now they are physically on the ground, and it behoves on the civilians to do their part. And of course, we are aware that recently the Minister of Interior did announce that they were prepared to deploy the Nigerian police and all other paramilitary organizations to the northeast. I believe people are free to move about anywhere in this country right now, you know, given the successes that the military has recorded so far. And given the fact that they've not only recorded these successes, but their presence, you know, physical presence. So people should do their bits. We cannot we can't abandon the Northeast It's part of Nigeria. The Nigerian police force, you go there and take care of law and order. The immigration should be there to perform their duties, to take care of the borders. The prisons should be there to man the prisons and put criminals under lock and key. Ministries, federal establishments, state governments, establishments should be functioning right now.
A member of the Civilian Joint Task Force who fled Bama are now back, complementing military efforts with bare hands and at no cost. While the access to camera drones looked to have helped the troops better motivated.
Our troops have recaptured Gambarungala and are now consolidating, mopping up, and busy preparing for the next offensive against the Boko Haram terrorists. If you look at even Sambisa Forest, is Nigerian territories, and we still have Boko Haram, and not only in Sambisa, but some, pockets of Boko Haram terrorists. So there are, and I just don't want to give you the places now for obvious reasons, and that is why we are working hand in gloves, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force, and other services, as well as other security agencies. And that is why we are so confident that Boko Haram terrorism will be a thing in the past in this country. I can assure you this. Please put it in record that we are going to do that.
With the renewed efforts in the fight against insurgency, there are high hopes that Nigeria will eventually sing a song of victory over the insurgents if there's no relenting.